What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Welcome back to the channel, Pigskin Addicts. Here, man. Let me just start this live stream out by saying Brandon Staley is stupid. Just when you think that this man cannot get any uh, more reckless, any more risky, he shows you that he can. This man is crazy. He is legitimately crazy, clinically crazy. This is ridiculous. How can you give away games as an NFL head coach? Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Man, this didn't make any sense at all. At all. At all. That whole scenario right now, no sense. Makes no sense. Brandon Staley is stupid. 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 The players really bailed him out. Actually, it's not even the players that bailed him out. He put the players in a bad position. Cade York, the Browns kicker, bailed Brandon Staley out. What a stupid turn of event. I'm flabbergasted right now. I'm flabbergasted. I'm blown away. That was one of the worst finishes to a game that I've ever seen. And it's crazy because the Chargers came out on top. Normally, these type of crazy finishes, the Chargers always come out on the bottom. They always come out losing out of a situation like this. But this situation was absolutely crazy. Nuts. None of this makes any sense. None of it makes any sense at all. This is crazy. It's nuts. It's nuts. The NFL scripted that perfect ending, but anyway, both of our defense is garbage time. I mean, the defense was they showed up when they needed to. Now, obviously, the first half was ugly, but damn, man, damn. That's all I got. Really, all I got to say about it. Ugly win, yes, 100%. Walk away from Staley after this year. The Browns bailed him out. I agree. That is just ridiculous, man. You have your offense really put it together today, right? The running game was outstanding, and this is what I call for. I just called for this the other day when I did the live stream. I think it was on Wednesday, right? That was either Tuesday or Wednesday. I said you got to get the running game. The running game must get going. The running game must get going, and the running game got going, and the offense looked easy. It looked easier for us, right? It looked easier. Justin Herbert was clean all game long. His jersey was clean. His jersey was clean. The only time he went down was when he ran for it a few times and he slid. Jersey was clean because they couldn't pin their ears back because they had to respect the running game, right? Chargers ran for a bunch of yards. They had to respect the running game, so they couldn't just pin their ears back. If they were doing that, all you had to do was hand it to Ekeler or Kelly, right? They're going to gain 10 to 15 yards. They couldn't. They had to respect the run game. So it made things so much more easier, so much easier. And really, Herbert didn't really have to do much. He didn't have to be superhero Herbert. All he had to do was, he was pretty much a game manager today, right? Make a few throws, get some first downs. That's all we needed him to do today, which is good, right? That goes away from the stuff that we always need him to do for the Chargers to win. They always need Herbert to do some crazy, off the wall, really superhero stuff. But damn, man, this was a ridiculous ending to a pretty good game. The things didn't start off well, but the Chargers, they rebounded, right? They rebounded on the road. That builds character. That builds confidence within the team and all of this stuff. And then Brandon Staley almost gives it away, puts his defense in a terrible position, right? And the defense was struggling, especially in the fourth quarter. They were struggling, but he put them in a bad, very, very bad position, extremely bad position. They're, in the Browns are in plus territory. And, they're just coming off of that interception, right, by Alohi Gilman. You want to punt the ball away. You want to have the Browns start that drive, right, with a minute left, no timeouts. You want them to start that drive at the 10, 15-yard line, right, their own 10 or 15-yard line. They're just coming off of an interception. Jacoby Brissett, again, and I said this the other day, he thinks he's better than what he is. He doesn't realize he's a backup. He's a game manager. But he will come out and he will make mistakes. And that's what he does. He always, he's doing too much. He's trying to run. He's trying to do this. He's trying to do that. He thinks he's better than what he is. He thinks his arm talent is better than what it is. He will make these throws. And I don't know if you guys caught the graphic. All three of his interceptions have been in the fourth quarter with less than 3 minutes left. All three of them this season. All three of his interceptions. What does that tell you? That tells you that he thinks he's better than what he is. He thinks that he is Justin Herbert, but man, he ain't. He's just not. He's not. He's going to give you mistakes. So if you put this guy really behind you put him behind the 8 ball, right? You start the drive at the 10, 15-yard line. He's going to make another he's going to make another huge mistake going down the field, right? The Chargers can potentially pick the game off and seal it at that point there. It doesn't have to go down to Cade York saving Brandon Staley's ass. Again, it doesn't have to go down to that. If this game was coached correctly, the right way, the way that it's supposed to be, and not Staley taking these chances. He's like a gambling addict, right? He's like a gambling addict who is gambling away his life savings in Vegas or something, right? Just take me to the MGM and let me, my last $1,000. Let me try to turn this into $1 million. That's what he's doing, and it's stupid. It's very foolish, very foolish. We'll take the dub, but oh man, you got a punt there, Staley. But I don't get why he went for it. Yeah, believe in the offense to go and close it out. They got to execute at the end, but that was a bad. Both play calls. The third down play call, awful. Fourth down play call, even worse. What are you doing? Like they're playing short. They came up, they were playing for the short pass, right? Because the Chargers only needed 2 yards. They were playing for the short pass, so they came up. The coverage was extra tight. They're playing for the short. Why not go with the screen? They're gonna come. They're gonna try to bring the pressure, and they're playing for something short. So if you go screen to EKELER, Kelly, whatever, those guys at least have a chance with the ball in their hands to at least gain the 2 yards that you need, if you're going to call that there. But, conventional wisdom says don't even go for it. Why even chance it? Let's kick the ball. Let's punt the ball. The Chargers had the ball in pretty good position there. So if you get a punt from J.K. Scott, really high punt, right, he can probably angle that within the 10, the 15 to 10 yard line, right? And if it's a really good punt, then maybe they down it, within the 10-yard line, right? Inside of it, maybe the 5-yard line, whatever. Then you're forcing them to really go for it. You're forcing them to really drive the length of the field. And if they're able to do that, if Jacoby Brissett's able to do that, then again, like I said Friday, you just shake his hand and say, okay, cool, right? He made plays, but that's not the player that he is. And we've seen that today. He pretty much lost him this game. So why would you give him another chance? It just doesn't make sense to me. It honestly does not make sense. It's very stupid, very foolish of Brandon Staley. And this is what I said. This is not a well-coached team. And I said this a couple weeks ago, and a lot of people give me pushback. You see it now. A coach who is willing to put this entire game on the line for no reason is not a well-coached team. No good coach does this. Name a good coach in the NFL, football in general. Name a good coach who would do that. Name a good coach who would take a chance like that. Andy Reid, no. Belichick, no. Nobody would take a chance like that. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, man. That fourth down call, the miss almost blew it. Heart attack. Yeah. But it shouldn't even came down to that. We should have kicked the ball. We should have kicked the ball. We gave them a chance in their plus territory. You just can't. Why do it? It doesn't make any sense. There is nothing that says you should do that. Not a chance. This is just ridiculous. It is ridiculous. It is crazy. And again, this guy, Cade York, their kicker, he missed a 45-yard field goal. So I knew that he probably wasn't going to make this 54-yard. I knew that he wasn't. It looked like he was stressing. He wasn't comfortable. But still, man, it's just why take the chance? Why take the chance? Why? I don't even know why the Browns were taking shots at the end zone. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. But that's Jacoby Brissett, though, because he's a backup. Again, he thinks he's better than what he is. You can tell his body language. He thinks that he is a very good quarterback, and he's not. He's a game manager, and that's how he should play. But that's how he thinks. So, again, if the Chargers kick the ball away and, they are forced to go down the field, try to get in field goal range within that minute, right? What are they going to do? What is Jacoby Brissett going to do? I say he's probably going to make a mistake soon. Within the first probably 4 to 5 plays, he's probably going to make a mistake. He's going to throw a ball into tight coverage, whatever. It'll get tipped and picked or whatever. Like, he's going to make a mistake somehow, or he's going to hold on to the ball too long. Khalil Mack is going to sack him, and then, they're really going to be up against it. But there's a lot of things that can happen if you start this guy who is going to clearly make a mistake. He made a mistake in his red zone, right? He threw the ball right to Alohi Gilman, got that interception. If you put the pressure on him in that situation from his own 10-yard line, this guy's going to make a mistake. The Chargers are going to be able to seal this game with no issues on defense, because they're not. They at that point they wouldn't be able to hide behind the run game. You're going to have to throw Jacoby Brissett out there. He's going to have to make a play. You can't hide behind Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. with the game on the line. You got to go out there and you got to make plays to your receivers. And I don't think I wasn't capable that he was able to do that. Even throughout this whole game, I just wasn't capable. Brissett's going to make a mistake. He's going to do something stupid. And I knew that he was going to do something stupid. But for Brandon Staley to go out and do something even more stupid is just ridiculous. It's crazy, man. Crazy. Lombardi was on point, but the defensive guru, I don't see it. He's not a defensive guru. That's what I say, he's a used car salesman, man. He's a used car salesman. Brandon Staley is a used car salesman. He's a used car salesman / motivational speaker. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Why would he give this up? Why would he even give this up? And if this was a better team, man, the Chargers lose. We all know this. If Jacoby Brissett was a little bit, if this was Baker Mayfield last year, they had Baker Mayfield, we lost this game. We probably would have lost this game. Ridiculous. It makes no sense why you even try that there. How does a head coach pull off a close road game win and still lose the faith of your family? Because he's stupid. He's stupid. He has impulse control. This is clearly I don't know. I've never seen a head coach do anything like this. I've never seen a head coach do anything like this. Make crazy decisions like this. I've never ever seen it before, ever. And we probably won't ever see this again either. Anybody who wants to be a head coach who's thinking that you should make these kinds of decisions, you won't be a head coach for long. You can damn sure mark that, or you won't be a head coach at all. Like, it's crazy. It's nuts. It is nuts. Staley defense make every quarterback look elite. Jacoby Brissett can play a little bit, but I think the focus was on the run game. Right now, you take out the long runs. The defense played okay on the run. Right, if you just take out the long run, especially in the first half. They played okay, but all of the focus was on the run game. They really didn't have a plan for Brissett. So Brissett had a lot of time back there. They didn't even sack him, and they couldn't really go full bore and pin their ears back. Same thing how they weren't able to do that against us. So they weren't able to do that. You have to respect the run, especially Stefanski is a good play caller. So if the defense was going to come out and they were going to pin their ears back and just go 100% for Jacoby Brissett, Stefanski was just going to sit up in there and probably call a lot of draw plays, right? Because you have all of the defensive line cleared out. Now you're going to have Nick Chubb with a full head of steam, 5-10 yards down the field. Like, that wouldn't have been smart. So you have to, and I thought the game plan was pretty good. Like, obviously the execution should have been there a little more, but the game plan was okay. Make Jacoby Brissett beat you. And that is a good game plan. I stand by that because I don't think this guy can beat you, right? We've seen Jacoby Brissett. A lot of people, he's an okay backup, right? He's a game manager, but he is not a starter in this league. The Colts tried to make that happen with him and they won 5 games, right? He's just not. He's not that good. He's not that good. He's not that talented. He has to have everything perfect around him. The running game has to be on point. The defense has to be playing well in order for this guy to have success, right? If anything is lacking in any area, this guy cannot pull you out. He's just not that. He's a backup in this league. So if you take away the run game, or at least you stifle them and you put him in 3rd and longs, he's probably not going to convert a lot of those 3rd and longs. So I stand by the game plan of stopping the run, going full steam ahead to try to stop the run and make this guy beat you, right? Make this career backup beat you. And if he can beat you, then, hey, maybe he had a good day. But, the percentages say that he's not going to beat you. And he showed that today. He's going to make a mistake as well as he played. We played well, very well, right? Give him credit. But he made that crucial mistake in the red zone, and that's what lost him the game on their end, right? So again, if you don't have everything perfect, this guy can't beat you. And he showed that today. And that is a blueprint pretty much for the league, right? Even with Atlanta, Atlanta's not a great team, but they shut down pretty much well, they didn't really shut down the run game, but they did a good job against the run game, and they couldn't do anything. Jacoby Brissett couldn't do anything, even against Atlanta, right? Who is not a great team. Like, he's just not a good quarterback. He's not a good quarterback from the standpoint of him beating you. Everything has to work. If everything's not working for him, he ain't going to beat you. And he showed that. He definitely showed that today. This is the guy I was looking for. What's good, my brother? What's good, man? What's good? What's good, bro? I lost all hope for the Chargers. Staley is horrendous as a head coach. I've been trying to tell. I really have been trying to tell people, man. He's just not a good. He's not a good head coach, and he thinks that make it like his defense, right? Okay, he's not a defensive guru, right? Even though the defense they stepped up in the second half, right? I give them credit. They stepped up. They played better in the second half than they did in the first quarter, obviously. But still, the execution was not there. So Brandon Staley feels, to me, and this is just my interpretation of it, he feels like he can make up for all of the bad defensive play by really making these crazy decisions, right? These crazy, nonsensical decisions, really risking, the game, right? To try to convert a 4th and 2 with a minute left when you can just punt it away and the Browns have no timeouts, right? He's trying to make up for what his defense is lacking. And that's just not going to do it. It's not going to do it. This doesn't win Super Bowls. This doesn't even win playoff games. You have to have your defense, your side of the ball. He's a defensive head coach. His side of the ball needs to be taken care of. And because his side of the ball isn't taken care of, he feels like these decisions are really, going to do it for him. And it's just not. And I said this, and a lot of people, again, I got a lot of pushback, especially in the beginning of the season. Like, oh, the defense is playing well. The defense is good. There's talent on this defense, right? Now, this is not going to be one of the best defenses in the league, right? Even throughout the season. This won't be the best, but it's also not going to be the worst. And the reason why this is not going to be the worst defense in the league is because you have talent. You have guys who can make plays on this defense. You got individual players. You got a Derwin James who can come out, make a big play, get a turnover. You got Khalil Mack who can go out there and force a turnover, right? You got Asante Samuel Jr. He's playing really well, right? He can go out, he can get enough, he can force a turnover as well, too. So this defense is not going to be the worst in the league because it has ballers on this defense. Now, as far as the coaching of this defense goes, it's not there. The coaching isn't there. And the reason why it won't be a top defense is because the coaching isn't there, right? The execution is not there. This defense is sloppy, right? They make way too many mistakes. But there's enough talent on this defense to keep it from being putrid and horrible. So that's where the defense is at, right? It's going to be in the middle, all season long. It's going to be around the middle. Passing is okay. I think overall rushing will be okay, but it's going to be in the middle because of the talented guys on defense, right? And then once we get Joey Bosa back, then you can expect, more plays and stuff to be made. But it's not because of coaching. I think people need to understand that it's not going to be because of coaching. Brandon Staley just doesn't. He's not that guy. He is not a coach, man. He's not. He's not a coach. Alexis, Staley needs to be fired. Yeah, I agree. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Let's see. Tom needs to hold Staley accountable for unorthodox calls. He does, but he is a Staley bro too. You got to remember they went to the same school. I don't think it was at the same time, but I think they both went to the same school. I think Telesco played football. No. Telesco played football at the school that Brandon Staley coached at, the whatever that Division III school, whatever it was. He's a Staley bro. So I don't know, man. And especially this win doesn't help because they can all just say, oh, we won the game, right? We did enough to win the game. A loss in this situation, especially the decision that Staley made, a loss would have done more. A loss would have done more positive as far as the hot seat, right? And Staley making sure that he needs to be on point, right? And he can't make these decisions. But this win is kind of going to, at the end of the day, that's all that really matters, right? Is winning and losing. But this decision needs to be very, 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 it needs to be scrutinized very, 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 very highly throughout the week until next Monday night we play the Broncos. It needs to be scrutinized heavy, very, very heavy, because this was one of the stupidest coaching mishaps I have ever seen in my life. It is ridiculous. Blaze 50 super sticker. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. Really appreciate that. This win is going to mask play calling. It is. It's going to mask a lot of things. Winning masks a lot of things. And, the way that the Chargers won too, right? Getting the running game going and all of that stuff, like it's really going to take a lot of pressure off of Lombardi. Even the defensive turnover too, right? It looks good for Staley, right? You're going to have a bend but don't break kind of defense. It does look good for Staley, but the decision to go for it there, yes, it does need to be held accountable. It really does. It has to. This is so stupid. So stupid. So stupid. It doesn't make sense to run on third down and then pass on fourth. You should pass on third. You plan on go for running. Yeah. Okay, the plan is to punt. Exactly. And that's what I was saying too. I thought running the ball, okay, that was a stupid play call, right? It was a stupid play call. I didn't agree with the, and again, and what have I come on here and said? Shotgun runs, especially coming out of a timeout. The Browns pretty much knew, especially from the formation that the Chargers were in, the Browns pretty much knew that the Chargers were going to run, right? And the as well as the offensive line played in this game, right? There's something on tape, and you can definitely infer this, right? Just from, and I'm not even going to go back from all previous seasons. You can infer just from this season, right? Every time the Chargers come out in shotgun, there's something on tape that says that they're going to run, right? There is a tail there. There's a give there. And I've been trying to figure it out, and I haven't really been able to figure it out. I'm sure, defensive coordinators and some teams have figured it out. They probably won't say anything, but there's a tail there, right? There's something that either Corey Linsley's doing, or there's something that one of the 5 linemen, or maybe multiple linemen, are doing in their stances when they come out in the shotgun and they know it's a run. It's a tail. It's a dead giveaway because everybody shoots the gaps and there's nothing there. There's nothing there in the shotgun runs. There's like almost nothing there. I would be curious to see, like, advanced analytics, advanced stats, what the Chargers are averaging yards per carry in the shotgun when they run out of the shotgun. Is terrible. There has to be a give there. There absolutely has to be a give. There has to be a tail there. There's something that defensive coordinators are not telling, because every single time the Chargers come out in the shotgun run, it doesn't work. It hasn't worked all 5 weeks. All 5 weeks long. It worked okay today because the Chargers were able to run the ball for some good yardage, right? And of course, if you're able to run the ball, then you're going to be able to keep teams off balance. But there's a tail there. So that is not a great play to me, right? Okay, but even past that, right? Okay, it's not a great play. Let's punt it. Let's punt it and let's make Jacoby Brissett beat us. No, let's give Jacoby Brissett the ball, right? Let's make him make one throw to literally get into field goal range, right? And they were in field goal range. The kicker just missed it. And that's the one thing that we should all look at. Let's not get away with that. Let's not let Staley get away with it. Even as bad as Jacoby Brissett played, they did enough to get into field goal range. If they had a better kicker, they would have won that game. And it's crazy. It's just crazy to me. It is crazy to me. I want to see the Staley Bros defend this. I really want to see the Staley Bros defend this. It doesn't make any sense at all. Doesn't make any sense, especially when you get a huge turnover in the red zone. Jacoby Brissett gives you the ball in the red zone. The run game, again, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, you completely take them out of it if the Chargers punt it down to the 10-yard line. They're out of the game. The threat of the run is no longer there because they can't afford to run the ball because they have no timeouts and they have to get into field goal range. And running plays, and if they get 5 to 6 yards and the Chargers create a big pile, their time is wasting away, right? They got to get up to the line and they got to get the ball snapped. So running plays are out of the equation. You're really counting on Jacoby Brissett to make plays, right? To make plays, particularly towards the sideline, right? So he's gonna have to make really dimes, right? He's gonna have to throw some dimes out there to get to the sideline for receivers to get out of bounds. He's not a dime thrower. He's inaccurate. He needs all the help he can get. Why not put the pressure on him? I just don't understand. Brandon Staley is just I really don't know. I don't know, man. I really don't know. And again, this is why he rubs people the wrong way in the NFL. There's a lot of people who don't, I don't know if they don't necessarily like him, but they feel that he has a smartest guy in the room mentality. They feel like he thinks that he is smarter than other coaches, right? He feels like he is smarter than guys who have won Super Bowls. He feels like he is smarter than, even some coordinators, right, who are established in the league. He feels like he's smarter than these people. So he rubs people the wrong way. And his decision making really does, it really does give that off. And that's why a lot of people are not really too fond of Brandon Staley. And this is something that I've heard from somebody who kind of knows the situation. This is what he gives off. And this ain't good, man. It's just not good. It is just not good. Let's see. We made Brissett look like an elite quarterback. I mean, I don't. The coverage was very soft all game long. I didn't agree with the soft coverage. I don't think that there was anybody who was going to beat the Chargers deep. Amari Cooper is He's pretty good, but I don't even think he was going to beat J.C. Jackson deep. Amari Cooper he's good, but he's not great, right? Peoples Jones, I think he's a little better than Amari Cooper, but even that, I don't think he was going to beat Asante Samuel deep. I don't think there was anybody on that offense that was going to beat the Chargers deep. So I don't understand the soft coverage. The soft coverage was confusing to me, and there's just a lot of zone soft coverage. So, I mean, the coverage that we were playing made Jacoby Brissett look better because he was just able to literally sit back and throw to really open windows, right? These are throws that pretty much any NFL quarterback can make, right? Backup, practice squad guy. So, I mean, yeah, we made him look better than what he was. But I think that was a calculated risk that the Chargers had to take, right? You had to really come up and stop the run game, especially in the second half. You had to do everything that you could to stop the run game. Again, the execution wasn't great, but at least they sold out and tried to stop the run, and they did a good enough job of it to win the ball game. Now, again, the soft coverage, I don't understand it. I really don't understand that. And you have J.C. Jackson out there, and why is he playing cover 3, man? He's playing cover 3. He's giving Amari Cooper a freaking 8-9 yard cushion. What does J.C. Jackson do best? J.C. Jackson is a man-to-man corner, man-to-man press corner. That's what he does the best. That is what he does. He's the best in the league at that. He's not Jalen Ramsey. He is a man-to-man press corner, and he travels with the best wide receiver. So why is he out there in zone coverage? Man-to-man. He needs to be man-to-man against Amari Cooper. And if Donovan Peoples-Jones was getting off, or if he was uncoverable or whatever, then maybe switch to him. But he's got to be man-to-man. You are not accentuating the strengths of one of the best corners in the league. And a lot of people getting on J.C. Jackson. And yes, he could play better, but his strength is man-to-man press coverage. That's what he does. That's how he made his name in this league with man-to-man press coverage. He made his name in this league as a undrafted free agent rookie doing that. He shut down Tyreek Hill in that AFC Championship game in 2018. That's what J.C. Jackson did. And he was playing press man on Tyreek Hill the whole game, right? Even though, Tyreek Hill is fast and all of that stuff, J.C. Jackson has the best technique, though, when it comes to press man-to-man. He's very strong, right? He's bigger. He's about 6 feet, 200 pounds, whatever. He's a bigger corner, right? He's got a long wingspan. He's able to jam receivers, and he has great technique in man-to-man. And he's a ball hawk as well, too, right? He can intercept the ball. We've seen him do that over the past 4 years. But he made his name in the league playing press man. Why are you playing him in zone? It's stupid. With that much of a cushion, too, an 8 to 9 yard cushion, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You are not getting the best out of him. Again, Brandon Staley is not a good coach. You're not getting the best out of your prize free agent signing this season. You are coming in and you're making him play like Michael Davis was playing last year, except you're paying him a hell of a lot more money than Michael Davis to come out here and have him. But why? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense at all. At all. Why would you do that? And it doesn't matter, especially now with these receivers. These receivers and quarterbacks are so good. They come in from high school, the 7-on-7, college, and all that stuff. They're catching passes. They are really, good to go from day one in the NFL, right? You see Amari Cooper, he's a veteran. He's got a lot of experience, right? Jacoby Brissett, he wasn't getting pressured. It is just easy. It's pitch and catch. It's like playing, catch in the driveway with one of your kids. That's how easy it is. You're putting him cover 3. He's got an 8 yard cushion. There's no cornerback who's ever played in the league that can stop that. When you're giving a guy an 8 to 9 yard cushion in cover 3, and the guy's running a quick breaking route, in, out, whatever, the quarterback is going to be pitch and catch every damn time. Every time. There's nothing to stop that. Anything short of getting sacks, there's nothing to stop that at all. So what do you do to stop that? You bring a guy up, you make him play press man. That way when Jacoby Brissett sees, oh, Amari Cooper is my primary target. Oh, and he's covered. What is he going to do? He's going to start, making mistakes. He's going to start rolling out whatever. He's going to throw an errant pass. It's so this game is not hard. It's not that hard. It really isn't. And Brandon Staley does not know what he's doing. Why? Why pick up the best man-to-man corner in the league if you're not going to play him damn man-to-man? Why? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It would be like let's say the Lakers, right? Let's say they want to get aggressive and trade, right? Let's say the Lakers, they say, okay, they call up Golden State and say, you have Anthony Davis and 2 first-round picks, and we get Klay Thompson. And you get Klay Thompson on your team, and you bring him in and you make him post up. And you no, don't shoot any threes. No, Klay, you're one of the best shooters of all time. We don't want you to shoot any threes. We just want you to post up. How stupid would that be, right? How stupid would that? That's basically what Brandon Staley is doing with J.C. Jackson. You have a skill, a premium skill that not a lot of guys in this league at all, in the totality, the history of the league, a lot of guys don't have the man-to-man cover skills that J.C. Jackson does, right? Not a lot of guys. No Richard Sherman. You know, you look at even some of the best zone corners, and they don't have the skills that J.C. Jackson does. Jalen Ramsey, he don't have those skills either, right? And he's known as the best corner in the league. Why is a guy not playing his strength? It doesn't make sense. And I don't want to hear anything about him being injured or all that stuff, whatever. If he's injured, then he shouldn't be on the field. If he's on the field, he should be doing what the strength of his game is. And that's why you signed this guy, to shut down one part of the field. And if he's out there playing soft zone coverage, he's just like everybody else. He's just like everybody else. It doesn't make sense. Please, I don't want to hear nothing about him being injured. If he's injured, take him off the field. That's it. Get Michael Davis in there, get a replacement. But when this guy's on the field and there's a premium receiver on the other side, he needs to be man-to-man against him. It doesn't make sense to do anything else. And if you do anything else, then that shows you don't know what you're doing. It really doesn't. So, yes. Sorry, I just had to rant about that. It just doesn't make sense, man. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. Let's see. Let me get caught up here. Fullback dive was idiotic, and Chargers last first down was the dumbest call ever. Agree. Definitely agree. The fact that we can't feel good about a road victory tells everything. Yes, it does. Brandon Staley, man, I just don't. Analytics should tell the Chargers to fire Staley. Exactly. They want to go with analytics. What if they plug all this into a computer? What should we do? Should we fire Staley based on it? Yes, the analytics will tell you to fire his ass. I 100% agree. Got the W, but man, Staley been a horrific call. Yes, he did. Yes. Can we agree J.C. Jackson has been an absolute bust? I mean, again, J.C. Jackson is not in the position to succeed. The J.C. Jackson you've seen in New England is not the J.C. Jackson you see here. And it's based on how the Chargers are playing him. They didn't bring him over to play cover 3 and give guys an 8 to 9 yard cushion. Because like I said, again, there's no corner in the history of the league that is going to come out and make plays on that. None. No corner in the history of the league who's going to make plays on that. You give a guy a 9 yard cushion and you're backpedaling. I mean, that's a 10-yard catch every single time. A 10-yard catch every single time. Not a corner in the history of the league who can do anything about that, especially in today's passing era. These guys are doing it, bam, out of their sleep. They can come in out of their sleep. They're getting reps in every day. They're on the same page. Bam, out of your sleep. There's not a single corner that can do anything about that. The way that you differentiate yourself as a corner, right, is to come up and to play press man, disrupt the route from the beginning, right? The guy's not getting a clean break. So his route is going to be disrupted. Therefore, the timing with the quarterback is going to be disrupted, right? Which is, when you have a backup quarterback like Jacoby Brissett, if it's disrupted, he's probably not even going to look and take a chance in that direction, right? Now, if it's a good quarterback, if Deshaun Watson was playing, right, maybe he does take a shot there, right, because he's a better quarterback, better timing, better arm, better anticipation, all of that stuff, right? Okay, I get it. I understand that. But more than likely, if a route is disrupted from the beginning, which J.C. Jackson does the best in the league, you're probably not going to look over to Amari Cooper's side too many times. That's just what it is. It's just the way football goes. You're not going to be able to do that. Deion Sanders made a living, right? Deion Sanders, to me, best cornerback, right, to ever play. What did Deion Sanders do? What was he known for? Press man-to-man coverage. This is what he was doing against the best receivers in the league. Michael Irvin, Jerry Rice. He was coming up disrupting routes before they even began. And that is how you differentiate yourself as a corner. The zone corners, the guys who, just play in zone, they're okay, but they don't have the impact that a Deion Sanders does. They just don't. They don't have the impacts that J.C. Jackson does. J.C. Jackson can come out and disrupt a guy before his route even starts. Again, this is what he did. He did this as an undrafted free agent rookie. He did this in the AFC Championship game. He was a huge reason why the Patriots were able to beat Mahomes and the Chiefs over there in Kansas City to even get to the Super Bowl. J.C. Jackson was a huge reason why. He was a huge reason why. And that's really how he made his name, because the Patriots came out and they blitzed the hell out of Mahomes all game long. They played zero coverage, right? They had no safety in the middle of the field. They brought a bunch of pressure, and they were able to disrupt him. That was a year that Mahomes had 50 touchdowns, right? Tyreek was running all over the field. They disrupted that offense. J.C. Jackson was a huge reason why. This is what he does the best. If he's not doing this, then he's not standing out. And that's why he's not standing out. So, worst head coaching call I've ever seen, but glad we got the yes. Definitely. We got the W, so I'm happy about that. But this can't happen again, man. J.C. Jackson looks like Patriot schemes made him good. Yes, they made him good, but it's not just about the scheme. It's about him playing man-to-man. Because if it's man-to-man, it doesn't matter what scheme you play. If you have a good man-to-man corner, whatever scheme you play is that guy is going to stand out, because it's still the same job no matter what scheme it is. You're getting up, you're playing press man, you're not letting a guy off the line of scrimmage, you're disrupting the timing between him and the quarterback. The quarterback has 1, 2, maybe seconds to look at him, and if that read isn't there and that guy's not open, he's going to look away. So there you took the best threat, right? The best offensive threat out of the play. So now the quarterback has to go and do something else, right? He's got to hit the hot route, or he's got to run around, throw the ball away, whatever, right? You took that threat away. So what J.C. Jackson does is not scheme specific. Man-to-man corners is not scheme specific. Like the Jalen Ramsey stuff, that is extremely scheme specific, right? He has to be, in that cover 3. He's not coming up and playing a lot of man-to-man because he's getting burned. He's getting burned if he's playing man-to-man. We've seen that in the Super Bowl too. The last play of the Super Bowl, Jalen Ramsey got burned by Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase just burned him off the line. The only problem is that Joe Burrow didn't have no time to throw it. Aaron Donald came in and got him before he was able to get. If he had time to throw, the Bengals won the Super Bowl last year, because Jalen Ramsey got burned. He got burned because he's not a good man-to-man corner. He plays a lot of zone coverage. And he's good in his own coverage, very good in his own coverage, but he don't have the skills that J.C. Jackson does. J.C. Jackson he is a more skilled cornerback than Jalen Ramsey is. Jalen Ramsey gets all of the press, but J.C. Jackson is a much better skilled cornerback, because J.C. Jackson could do what Jalen Ramsey does, but J.C. Jackson is a man-to-man specialist, and that's not what every cornerback doesn't have that ability. And you guys see it too. Sometimes they get hyped up and all this. You just don't have that ability. If you're able to play your zone and be good and be great, good, right? Make your money, get your contracts, whatever. But when it comes down to winning Super Bowls and really shutting a side of a field down, it's not that. You have to be good. You have to be, that's top tier stuff right there. That is top tier to me. That's more top tier than what anybody else does. Anybody remember Darrelle Revis? Darrelle Revis, best man-to-man corner in the league for a very long time. What did Revis do, right? They called it Revis Island because he shut down whoever he was on. The best wide receiver on the other team was, when Revis was on him, coming up, press coverage, man-to-man, technically sound. You're not getting open. And if the quarterback is looking at you, whatever, if he don't have time, he's looking at you for 1 second and he's going away. Your best offensive weapon now is 0 on that play. So now he got to go and improvise and do something else. And if you do this enough times during the game, you're going to stifle an offense. That's what Darrelle Revis was able to do. He did it for the Patriots. Too. They were able to win the Super Bowl. What was that? Against the Seahawks? Against the Seahawks. He was able to shut down, I think it was Doug Baldwin. He shut down Doug Baldwin the whole entire game. And again, this is what a press man-to-man cover corner can do for you. They can do way more than just a regular cover 3 cover corner. So, excuse me. Let's see. We got lucky and escaped with the win. I was too upset because we kept playing a soft zone. Get up on the line, press the wide receiver instead of allowing all the easy passes. Yeah. It's very simple, man. It's very, very simple. And if you're not going to have all your your corners do that, I get it. I understand. But the guy you paid all this money to in the offseason, he has to be doing that because that's what he's known for. It doesn't make any sense for him not to do that, right? Staley needs to fit his schemes around the strengths of his players instead of trying to fit it. 100% agree. Agree 100%. 100%. I definitely agree with that. And like I said, what JC Jackson does as a corner, like that is really the only position in the league where it fits every single scheme, right? 3-4, 4-3. If you're dime heavy, if you're nickel heavy, whatever, man-to-man press corner fits every single one of those defenses. You can use that. Every single team in the league can use that. Every single, scheme, whatever you can think of. A man-to-man press corner, you can use that for anything. That gives you so much flexibility to do other things, right? And then you have the ability to really come out and confuse quarterbacks with the combo coverages, right? Because if a quarterback like Jacoby Brissett looks over, right, and he sees that J.C. Jackson is pressed man-to-man up against Amari Cooper, right? And if he looks to the other side and he sees Asante Samuel Jr., and he looks like he's pressed man-to-man against the other receiver, right? So he's going to say, okay, I'm in man now, so I'm going to go out here and I'm going to throw it to, obviously I'm going to try to stay away from J.C. Jackson if I can. So I'm going to throw it to the other side because he's impressed man-to-man too. All of a sudden, he gets into his cadence and then Asante Samuel backs out. Now it's not man. Now it's zone on this side. It's still man on this side, but it's zone on this side, right? That's the combo coverage, right? So this confuses quarterbacks, right? Especially the quarterbacks like Jacoby Brissett, guys who are backups. It's going to confuse him. So he's going to throw the ball over here thinking that he's in man. All of a sudden, now you got a linebacker coming, and in front of the pass, right? Maybe tips it, intercepts it, whatever. Or maybe Derwin James comes up. But there's different things that you can do with that. The press man-to-man corner, you can do a lot of different things. And then you can have that look on several different plays, right? Because if Amari Cooper goes over and lines up, in the slot, now you have J.C. Jackson in the slot. Now he's impressed man-to-man. Everybody else looks like they're impressed man-to-man, but it can be zone, right? So you never know. There's a lot of different looks you can give offenses. And having a guy like J.C. Jackson really, really allows you the flexibility to do all of that stuff. But if Brandon Staley was a real defensive coach, he would understand this. All the real defensive coaches do this. Belichick won plenty of Super Bowls doing this, right? Confusing quarterbacks. That's why a lot of young quarterbacks struggle against Belichick because you don't see combo coverage really in college, right? Even Herbert, right? When the Patriots came to SoFi a couple years ago, right? 45-0. What did Belichick do? He confused the hell out of Justin Herbert. He didn't see combo coverages at Oregon, right? There wasn't nobody playing. Oregon State wasn't playing combo coverage against them. They're just trying to match up against the athletes, right? They have too many athletes on their team, and they're just trying to match up the best that they can. They can't afford to run all of this elaborate stuff on defense because they just don't have the personnel to do it. Now in the NFL is different, right? You get with a good defensive coach who understands, okay, this quarterback has never seen any of this stuff that I'm going to throw at him. Right. So now he's going to be confused. He's holding the ball. He's taking sacks. He's throwing interceptions, whatever it is. Right. This is what you do. This is what good defensive coaches do. They throw people off. Right. And a lot of it is scheme. Right. Obviously, you need good players, but a lot of it is scheme. And if you understand what to do in certain situations, especially in a game like this, right, you're going to face a Jacoby Brissett. Why not throw something at him that he hadn't seen all year, right? Because he's going to make mistakes no matter what, right? Even the Chargers played vanilla coverage. They were very soft. And he still made a huge game-losing mistake, right? What happens if the Chargers come out with some exotic stuff, some stuff that he hasn't seen before? Then what he's going to do? He's going to be running around like a chicken with his head cut off. That's what he's going to do, and he's going to make a bunch of mistakes. So, again, the it's there. It's there. The talent is there. The scheme is just not getting as much out of the talent as it should be. Really, that's just all it is. It really all it is. And it's because of Brandon Staley. This is a good defense talent-wise that is playing vanilla football. And if there was a more experienced defensive coordinator in this position, they would be getting a lot more out of this defense than Brandon Staley could be, right? You look at a Wade Phillips, a guy who's been in the NFL forever, right? He could be getting a lot more out of this game than what Brandon Staley is, right? He can have some really exotic stuff cooked up. And Brandon Staley just doesn't have it. He does not have it. He doesn't have it. He's just not experienced enough. He's too young. And that's probably what it is. J.C. Jackson still seems like he's trying to find his legs. Look a bit rusty, but I believe he can get back on track soon. But same here. And I think they have to put him in what he does best. If they put him in what he does best, then he will start showing flashes. And he showed a couple flashes today on some of those passes, especially I think it was on a couple of third downs where he challenged Amari Cooper, came up, and he pretty much closed the cushion. It seemed as the game went on. It seemed like he did that by himself because everybody else was still playing very very far back, and the cushion was very big all over the field. But he started closing his as the game went on, so that's a good sign. It looks like he's starting to get his legs back. So Staley is too haughty to adjust his schemes to his players. He wants the glory instead of allowing players to receive it. Right. And you're not gonna get the glory as a coach if you don't allow your players to be great. If you allow them to be great, then people will recognize you as a great head coach. But people are not because he's just not letting his players be great. He's been getting abused. They're picking on him. No, they're not picking on him. He's not in the position that he should be in. They're not picking on him. They're not going at him because they're like, oh, well, let's go to JC Jackson. Because he's a ball hawk. He can intercept the ball. And that's what he is known for, but he's known for press man to man. So he's just average in this defense that they have him playing. If he's playing cover 3, cover 4, whatever, he's just regular. So you're not going to stay away from him because he's regular at that point, because he has so much cushion, in front of him that quarterback and receiver, they have time to complete a pass. So he's just normal. Staley is so smart that he almost butt started himself. Man, he's arrogant, just very arrogant. Plenty of talent plus unteachable coach equals wild card team. Yeah, that's pretty much what we're looking at right now. If we're being honest, looking back at things, Jamari should have been starting to Ekeler, Kelly, and rookie in rotation from here, right? And they got Josh Kelly in the game. They got Josh Kelly some carries. I seen Sony Michel on the field one time, right? And how did things go for us? We ran for as many yards as we ran for in the past 4 years or something like that. There's juice in the game. We seen Ekeler break that 71-yard run. Eckler's got juice, right? We seen Josh Kelly break several runs of over 10 yards. He's got that juice. Sony Michel don't even have a rush over 10 yards this year. That should show you what's going on here. It's very simple. The fans, us as the fans, we've seen this from week 1. And how long did it take the coaches to make this change, right? Up until week 5? That's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. Anybody with eyes can see that the top 2 backs are Ekeler and Josh Kelly. They both have juice, and they both gave it to you in the run game today and in the passing game. Both of them did. Sony Michel gives you no juice in either, right? He's just a veteran with a couple of Super Bowl rings. And he's a guy that is, he can be a leader in the locker room, a leader in the running back room. But on the field, he don't have it. Both of these guys, Ekeler and Kelly, are both. They got way more juice than Sony Michel has. And I'm glad that the coach has seen it because they took advantage of it today, obviously. Let's see. Keenan Allen flipped on Twitter. I seen that. Yeah, I seen that. He's speaking his mind, man. He's speaking his mind. I'm glad he is too, because he's like, yo, what are we doing? What WTF? What are we doing right now? He understands. He knows. I'm glad he's speaking his mind, and he should, because he's a team leader, and he's been in this organization for 10 years now. Brandon Staley hasn't been in this organization for 10 years. When Keenan Allen speaks, people need to listen because he's been here. He's been here for the ups and downs. He's been here for the only couple of playoff wins that we've gotten in the last 10 years. He's been here for all of that. So when Keenan Allen speaks, people need to listen. They don't need to say nothing back to him. They need to listen. He's been here for all of it. So I definitely appreciate him coming out and speaking his mind from that perspective. And, I think when he comes out and does that, he doesn't just do it willy-nilly. He does it because he has a feel in the locker room. Guys know that he's a leader. So when he comes out and speaks like that, he's pretty much speaking for the whole locker room. Yo, what are we doing? And if the Chargers lose this game and he's like, what the hell is going on? That's how everybody else in the locker room would feel. So definitely, I appreciate him speaking out like that. That's definitely big. Appreciate the content, man. You keep it real when others try to sugarcoat. I hope getting Allen back will help us stay afloat until Bosa returns. I think so. Thank you for the compliment. Thank you. I really appreciate that, man. I try to keep it real here. I try to keep it real from the perspective of not just a fan, but somebody who's being objective, right? I want to be objective. When players on our team do good stuff, I compliment them. When they're not good, then I go at them and I say they need to improve, and everything else in between, right? And that's what I pride myself on. That's why I started this channel. Like right here, like I got to give huge credit to. I've already gave credit to Joshua Kelly several times over the past few weeks, excuse me. But I need to give big credit, big credit to Trey Pipkins. Not only was he hurt earlier in the game, but he came back in and he played well. And Trey Pipkins has played his ass off this season. Excuse me. We got to give credit to Trey Pipkins. I was not a fan of him. I criticized him. The last preseason game, the third preseason game last season against the Seahawks, that was one of the worst games that I've ever seen a tackle play. Right? He was awful, and I was like, man, the Chargers need to go ahead and cut him. They just need to cut bait, start all over again, draft another tackle, whatever. To Trey Pipkins' credit, he did the work in the offseason. He did the work. He was working with Rashawn Slater and his trainer. He improved from an individual standpoint, right? He got stronger. He got a little bit more in shape. Now it's showing up on the field. He's playing really, really, really well. That right side of the line is clean. It's clean. And you can tell how well he's playing because when he went out for those few plays, Storm Norton came in, and all of a sudden there was a huge problem on that right side. You couldn't run to the right side. Jadeveon Clowney was in the backfield before you knew it. So there's something to say for that. Trey Pipkins has done a fantastic job, man. He's done a fantastic job, and you got to give him credit. You got to give him credit. And if he watches his channel or anything like that, shout out to you, my brother. You have really improved. You really improved. And not only that, I like it from the standpoint that there's a lot of players in the league, right? And this is a younger generation thing, right? I guess you can say I'm in the younger generation. I'm 32, but I'm still like, when I was playing football in high school and stuff, this was still an old school approach, right? Still an old school approach. These guys, when they're not playing well and all of this stuff, like I seen guys on other teams, like they get all in their feelings and they start talking shit back to the fans and start, calling them poor and you don't have as much money as me and all of this type of stuff and just getting really in their feelings. Trey Pipkins, he's on social media. He's seen all of the shit that everybody was talking about him, right? But what did he interact with any other fans? No. Did he insult anybody's mom or whatever? Did he pull a gun out on fans on Instagram like the Raiders guy did, Damon Arnett, dumbass? No, he didn't do any of that. All he did was use that as motivation, went into the offseason, got himself better, right? Competed, won the right tackle job, and is playing his ass off right now. And he handled it like a man, and he got better. And he now, like, this is a story that you want to see in the NFL, right? They should, whenever the Chargers play in prime time, they should cover him because he got better and he took it like a man. He didn't go off and say, oh, you guys need to stop talking bad about me, my mental health and all of this crap. No, he took it like a man. He knew he was playing like shit. So what did he do? He got in the lab and he got better. And that's all you can ask of players to do, right? Guys who are not great. He got better. He didn't complain. He didn't say nothing else. He just got better. And he comes in and he does his job. And throughout 5 weeks, he has been a constant at the right tackle position. I'm very, very impressed. Very impressed. And I love what he's doing. And all you can do is credit somebody who does that, right? That shows character. It really shows character. How many guys would be in a position where they're like, just forget about it, right? Forget about it. I'm just gonna, get my money and, maybe try to get on somewhere else in my career there. No, he got better. He got better, and he's a player now. He's a player. He's making plays. The right side of the line is clean. Give him huge credit. I got to shout out to him. And that's what my channel is about, man. I will come on here, and if I take a shot at a player, I don't like a player or whatever, then if he proves me wrong, I'm gonna come on here and say I'm wrong. I have no ego in this, and I'm not trying to be the hot take guy. I'm not Stephen A. Smith. I'm none of that. Guys come on here and they play well, I will give them credit. Same with Joshua Kelly. I wasn't a fan of his. I made several videos. You can go back in the archives and look. I made several videos of him, and I was thinking, okay, if this is the same Joshua Kelly, Chargers got to cut bait. No, that brother has proved everybody wrong too. He did the same thing with Trey Pipkins. He didn't come out and talk about the mental health and all of that stuff. He went and got himself better. He made himself a better football player. And if you do that, amongst all of the talk and all the chatter and social media and all that stuff, if you're able to do that and you're able to go out and prove yourself, it shows how much high character you have as a man, and it shows how serious you take your job, and you deserve nothing but credit for that. So shout out to Joshua Kelly, shout out to Trey Pipkins, two guys who I win at. They're playing well. They are playing well, and they are the reason why. There are reasons why the Chargers are winning now, right? They're not reasons why the Chargers are losing or playing bad. They are constants. They're reasons why the Chargers are winning. So I got to shout out those brothers. They're doing a very, very good job. And anybody else who comes out and proves me wrong, I will come on this channel and I will say you're doing a good job, because I'm not just coming at it from a pessimistic standpoint or whatever. I am a Charger fan. I want them to do well. But when I see bad stuff, I'm going to call them out. Same thing goes for Brandon Staley. If Brandon Staley comes out and has a good game plan or whatever, I will give him credit for it. But it seems like he is trying to be, a rock star as a coach, as opposed to just letting your players go out there and succeed, right? Putting them in position to succeed, right? Which the Chargers had a lot of success today, especially on offense. But you want to come out and you want to be Mr. Know-it-all or Mr. Hot shot guy. I don't like that. And until he does something different, then I'm gonna keep calling him out. Shout out to Joe Lombardi as well, too. Pretty damn good game plan today. Kept running the ball. And I've always asked for that. Run the ball until you make the other team stop it. And if the other team doesn't stop it, then you keep running it. And shout out to him. He ran the ball. The offensive game plan was nice and easy, right? Justin Herbert didn't have to throw a lot of passes. He didn't have to do any heroic shit. All he had to do was just go out there, complete a few passes, bam, 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 bam. Easy. Nice and easy, right? Very easy. So shout out to Joe Lombardi as well, too. I went at him, but he had a good game plan today. So appreciate that. Wanted to echo the props given to you for great content. Keep it up. How do you think Sawyer do, and you think we'll be okay with this line the rest of the season? Thank you so much for the super chat. Sawyer did well. Sawyer did really well. I think a lot of the game plan was to kind of go quick. I didn't see Herbert take a lot of 7-step drops, so the game plan really played into his hands today. But Sawyer did well, man. Sawyer was. I don't think the Chargers gave up a sack, or I think there was a sack in the box score, but I don't remember that. So he played well. I think he played well, and I think this line is okay for the rest of the season, especially if they keep up this run game. If they keep up with this run game, they're going to be fine. They're going to be just fine for the rest of the season, because you can't, again, like the Browns, they pride themselves on pass rush. But if you have a running game who can do what they did today, like what the Chargers did today, there's no way your defensive ends can just come up the field with their ears pinned back. There's no way, because you're going to have off tackle, right tackle, left tackle. You're going to be able to get a lot of yards. So if the Chargers continue this run game, this is going to be a huge, huge, huge advantage. And it's going to take a lot of pressure off Sawyer. You see, it took a lot of pressure off Herbert today. There wasn't a lot of I don't even know. Did Herbert get on the ground at all? Was he hit? Did he even? His uniform looked clean in the fourth quarter, and he didn't even look like he was in pain at all either. Like he was clean. He was clean. It was a good game plan, and the offensive line, they protected very, very well today, and they got back to the basics in the running game. Right, hat on a hat, just move guys out the way. This is a big offensive line. The Chargers have a big offensive line. Corey Linsley is the best run blocking center in the league as well too. So, getting behind Matt Filer, getting behind Zion Johnson in the interior, right, guard, center guard, you're going to get a lot of yards there. And then the Chargers were able to run off tackle too, and that's because Sawyer did a really good job sealing that off. Same thing with Pipkins; he did a really good job sealing it off. So they were able to get a lot on the run game, in the run game today. I was really surprised. I thought they were going to run it well. I didn't think they were going to run it this well though. So the offensive line got into a groove though. So if they're able to parlay this into next week and beyond, it's going to be a very, very, very good offensive line going forward. And they said Rashawn Slater, he could be coming back sometime at the end of the season. So if he's able to come back at the end of the season, Jamari Sawyer is probably going to go back to the bench. But even to run power stuff, you bring Sawyer in as a sixth offensive lineman. That's going to be a nasty combination, man. That will be a nasty combination. And I think the Chargers will have to do that, especially if they want to make the playoffs and have success in the playoffs. They're going to have to run the ball. That works, though. It sets up for it. So I like what they're doing in the run game. Very, very good, very potent today. Hopefully they keep it up, though. Yes. I think they'll be okay with this line for the rest of the season, because if Sawyer can hold up against Myles Garrett, there ain't too many other guys out there in the league that can do what Myles Garrett does. So I think, like I said, from just a talent perspective standpoint, age and all of that stuff, he is probably at the top, like physically, as a defensive end. So if you're able to hold up against that guy, you're going to be pretty damn good in the league. So yes, I think Sawyer is going to be very, very good. Again, SEC experience is very, very. You can't replace it. You can't replace it. They got the best in the league. So yes. Let's see. Honestly, Staley was fine until he got into his ego at the end of the game and almost lost it. Yes, that's what he does. Yeah. Yep. Disagree. Staley didn't coach well this game. Joe Lombardi coached this game good though. Yeah. Staley didn't. I mean, Staley was okay. It's just he had the game plan was lacking from the standpoint of really putting pressure on the Browns in the pass game, right? Because if this was just a run game and the Browns just ran for the same amount of yards and all of this stuff, right? If they came up and they made the pass game a little harder, if there was more contested catches, especially on third down with a backup quarterback, then I think this game would have looked different, right? I think that the Browns have probably 10, maybe 14 less points, right? With a contested, a passing defense, right? With more contested, more pass breakups. This probably looks a little different. I think he was soft from that standpoint. I don't think it should have been that soft. But again, it I guess it worked out in the end. Staley almost gave it away, but I don't think the defensive. I don't think it was that bad. But again, all the good that Staley did, he undid it at the end of the game, especially for me. That was just that's undefensible. It is, and again, that is something that can lose the locker room. And all the reports of the other day, right? Or excuse me, a couple weeks ago, right? The locker room, they given Staley the side eye. If they lost this game, and there was any Staley bros out there who would believe that the locker room isn't lost, they would be crazy. They would be crazy. You're literally taking a win out of the players' hands, right? And all these players want to do is win. They just want to win ball games. You would have took a win out of their hands. So again, man, it would have been catastrophic, right? And the media coverage and all of that stuff would have been catastrophic. They're still going to cover this, right? They're still going to talk about it, but it ain't going to have the same buzz because the Chargers got the win. But again, man, it wasn't good. It's just not smart. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what Brandon Staley's doing. He needs to get it together. That's really all you can say. He has to get this together. He cannot just continue to do this type of stuff. I'm sorry. He just can't. He can't. There's no way. And every kicker is not Cade York. They're not going to just bail him out, They're not going to bail him out of bad situations like this. Let's see. I read this one. Staley not out there missing tackles. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. The tackling was bad, especially in the first quarter. They were out there playing like they weren't playing against Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is a strong son of a bitch, man. I don't know if you guys seen his workout stuff. This dude is strong as shit. And the Chargers were out there trying to arm tackle him. Like, y'all better stop. Not only is that not going to work, that can get you hurt, right? You arm tackle him and he runs through your arms, he can break your arm. Like, you're playing against one of the strongest dudes, like pound for pound in the NFL. That guy is strong. He is strong as hell, and you need to gang tackle him, and you need to bring your feet, right? Even if you don't get him down, if you are just able to stop his momentum, right? Just stop his momentum until you get some help. But the first quarter, the Chargers were just, acting like he's just, they were playing him like he's Christian McCaffrey or something like that. That is a big, strong country boy. And you're not going to get him down with no arm tackles. It's just not going to happen. It's not. It is not. That is a strong dude. And you can see it too. And I was at the game at SoFi last year. They were doing that crap against him last year. And I was like, what are you doing? This dude's legs are tree trunks. You think you're just going to get him down with the arm tackle? Or you think you're going to, grab at his feet? No, that's a big dude. Nick Chubb is a big dude. And he is a strong guy. So no. They were out there playing like he was a scat back. Please, yeah. That was bad tackling on the players' part. They should not have done that. Let's see, I seen one comment here. Blaine Thompson. Staley tried to give the Brownies a W. He should get Vic Fangio out there if he's available. Bingo. Blaine Thompson. You are 5,000% correct. And I have said this. They should bring in Vic Fangio he didn't have to be a coach. He didn't have to be a defensive coordinator. He should be an analyst, right? An analyst, whatever they want to give him. Maybe he doesn't have to travel. I know he's old and maybe whatever. but somebody that can tell you, somebody that can watch the tape and tell Brandon Staley, this ain't right. You need to do this, 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 and this. Vic Fangio is one of the greatest defensive minds in NFL history. All of his defenses are Super Bowl defenses. That's just what it is. He's had Super Bowl defenses everywhere that he has went. Right now, when he was a head coach in Denver, the offense wasn't there. Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock obviously not going to do anything for you, right? I mean, at least they've been better than Russell Wilson so far, but that's not really saying much. But again, everywhere he's went, Super Bowl defense. When he was with the Niners, right? He was Jim Harbaugh's defensive coordinator. Super Bowl defense, right? They had talent on that defense, but Super Bowl defense. He turned Patrick Willis. He helped turn Patrick Willis into a Hall of Famer. Patrick, I think he was probably going to be a Hall of Famer anyway, but his defensive scheme, it really allowed him to play at his strengths, right? He turned him into a Hall of Famer, probably maybe Navarro Bowman into a Hall of Famer too, right? He had guys in the back end too, like Dante Whitner couldn't even cover, but he was having success in the back end, right? He was a big hitting safety. He would come up. He played to his strength, right? He was able to come in and stop the run. He had guys on that defense really, really balling, right? Guys who were just kind of okay before that. Obviously, that was a Super Bowl defense, right? Turned him into one of the best defenses in the league, right? Then he goes to Chicago as a defensive coordinator. Again, a Super Bowl defense, right? With Khalil Mack on the team after they traded for him with the Raiders, right? Akeem Nicks, extremely physical up front at the point of attack. That's what Vic Fangio is known for. His defenses are physical. The front seven, you're not going to get nothing up there. They're going to punk you all game long, right? And it's up to your quarterback to have a really, really good game in order for you to beat a Vic Fangio defense, right? Even when he goes to Denver, they still had a good-ass defense last year, too. Had a really, really good defense last year, even the year before. It's just offense wasn't there, right? They're playing with bad quarterbacks. But all of his defenses ball. All his defenses ball. And this is supposed to be Vic Fangio's scheme. Brandon Staley is not running it the right way, though. He's not getting everything out of this defense that he can get it. If they brought Vic Fangio in, he's a guy, I don't even think like with training camp, or he doesn't even need that. He can start making adjustments immediately. If they brought him in, he would be able to make adjustments just quickly, within a week, right? You will see a different defense. You will see guys doing different things. You will see a lot more action. You will see a lot more success, especially up front, right? In the front seven. That's what his defenses are known for. I 5,000% agree with this. And I co-sign this. I co-sign this with everything in me. Yes, bring in Vic Fangio, because Vic Fangio is a defensive mind that nobody is really talking to right now either, right? We see all of this stuff going on in the league. Nobody wants a Vic Fangio. I don't know why. They need to bring him in. Chargers should bring him in as an analyst, definitely. I thought they should bring him in as a defensive coordinator this year, but they obviously didn't do that. Bring him in as an analyst. Pay him whatever he wants, right? Just to analyze, right? He doesn't have to coach. He don't have to come to practice every day. Send him tape. Let him watch tape. Let him break down. Talk to Brandon Staley over the phone, FaceTime, whatever. Make his adjustments that way, right? Pay him, give him, $300,000-$400,000, whatever, just to do that. He can just stay at home and do that. He don't have to leave, right? I'm sure he has grandkids or something that he's playing with. He can still play with his grandkids. Just take a break, break down some film, send the adjustments that need to be made to Staley, and then the Chargers would look like a different team defensively if that happened. I have full 100% confidence in Vic Fangio as a defensive mind, definitely. You see, Pipkins for All-Pro, man, I thought he was done for the season, but thank God he came back in beast mode. Yeah, that was scary. He got rolled up on. But I seen who one of the beat writers said that he walked off the field and he's talking to medical, and then he started getting into his sets, and he started like moving around and started testing it out. So that's why I was like, okay, he might be okay, right? If he's testing it out. If it was a major knee injury, he would have got carted off. So I was glad he was able to come back in, and hopefully he's good to go on Monday. So yeah. Herbert has been protected. Hats off to Pipkins. I can't lie. Joe Lombardi coached this game. Yeah, he coached good. Yes, 100%. And there's no shame in it. I know a lot of people want to stick to their takes or whatever. I don't. This is a fluid situation. Joe Lombardi could be terrible one week and then come out and be good this week. So it is what it is. You got to give credit where credit is due. He put together a pretty damn good game plan, especially with the running game, right? And he was able to continue calling running plays and running plays and running plays. Got to give him credit. Got to give him credit for it. You can't take away from it at all. So I definitely give him credit this game. Khalil Mack hugged Staley at the end of this. Staley, I think, still has peeps who respect him, but he's got to be better. Yeah, Khalil Mack is his guy, but everybody else ain't his guy though. So, you know, if he would have lost this, if he would have choked this away, this wouldn't have went over well in the locker room. And especially you see Keenan Allen tweeting. Keenan Allen is the team leader. He's a guy that's been here. He's been here for the longest. So you see Keenan Allen talking about this, right? Again, this is he speaks for a lot of players in the locker room who don't have the voice that he has. They don't have the respect that he has. They don't have the tenure that he has. He speaks for a lot of guys. So I'm glad they pulled this out. So we just completely avoided that whole fiasco. Chubb is strong for sure, squatting 500 pounds. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I think he squatted like 545 or something. They showed it before the Thursday night game against the Steelers. Yeah, that dude is crazy, man. Crazy strong. Hope he didn't lose Trey Pipkins. Yeah, I don't think he's up. I think he should be fine. He finished the game off, so I think he should be fine. Unless anything else comes up in the week. Hopefully not. Tyron Johnson is available. Justin likes him. Bingo. I was gonna make a video about this later on in the week. I was hoping that the Chargers would pick him up. I don't know why they wouldn't. How many of the I think he had, what was it, 3 of the 50-plus yard plays Herbert's rookie year? He either had 3 or 4. He's a burner. He's a guy. I think he ran 4.32. He's a burner. He's a guy. If you put him on the field, he's going to be the fastest guy on the field, right? And he was okay with the Raiders. I don't think they utilized his speed. I don't know why they would get rid of him now because, I like Devontae Adams, but he's not a burner. Obviously, Hunter Renfrow is not a burner either. You got to have a burner on your team. Darren Waller is probably the fastest of all of those guys, and he's a tight end. But yeah, man, I don't know why they let him go. I like Tyron Johnson. I like him. I think the Chargers need to pick him up. They need to pick him up. Hey, put him on the practice squad if you want to, because they waived him, and no other team put in a claim for him as of yet, right? So I think I'm gonna wait for a little bit, wait for a couple of days. I think they should bring. I really do. I honestly do. It looks like Josh Palmer is not 100% either. If you guys see him today, he struggled a lot. It looks like the ankle was really bothering him. Keenan Allen's out. Josh Palmer's out. Jalen Guyton is out for the season. I think I seen Jason Moore in there running routes. I don't know what that guy's doing in there. Yes, Tyron Johnson. He has chemistry with Herbert. I think they got to make it happen. I do. I think they have to make it happen. I seen they picked up Keelan Doss. I think the Raiders let him go too. The Chargers should let him go and bring in Tyron Johnson. It honestly makes the most sense, right? Especially to have that guy available, and you have wide receiver injuries, bring him in. It makes a lot of sense. It makes so much sense, but a lot of the things that the Chargers do personnel-wise don't make sense. So, I wouldn't be surprised if they did pick him up. I hope that they do. I really, really hope they do. My fingers are crossed, but we'll see. We'll see what happens at the end of the week. Hopefully by the middle of the week he signed, but we'll see. We'll see. Parham was silent today. Yeah, he was. I don't think he's in game shape yet. This was his first game, so he's definitely not in game shape yet. But he's got to get it going. I think he will. Everett was also silent too. Yeah, Everett was silent too. I think he only had one catch? Was it one catch? Maybe 2 catches. Yeah, he was pretty silent. Yeah, so was tight end position just in general was silent. But this was a running game today, so they didn't really need much from the tight ends. Mike Williams got off, did what he did. So they didn't really need all that much from the tight ends. They just needed them to come in and block and just present a target, right? Just kind of play the decoy. But they play really well. They play really well as far as blocking goes. Everett did some good blocking. Parham did some good blocking. Trey McKitty did some good blocking as well too, to spring some of those runs. So they played well. They didn't catch the ball, not a lot of targets, but they played well from the blocking standpoint. I like it. I want to see more from them. So yeah, man, this was a disaster averted for the Chargers. hopefully they can learn something from this. Hopefully Brandon Staley learns something from this. He's the guy that needs to learn something from this. Um, but I'm glad to have the win. I'm glad to have the win. That's really all maybe I'll make a video about Staley. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm just glad they got the win. Now, you move forward into next week. Denver Broncos on Monday Night Football, and everything we've seen from the Denver Broncos have shown they are not a team that's ready to go up against a team like us, who is starting to gain some footing, right? So this seems like a matchup that is perfect for us. Especially if Russell Wilson, they said he had some shoulder procedure done the other day on Friday. We'll see how he looked. He hasn't looked good at all. That offense has been anemic, to say the least. Hopefully, this is not a game where they get right against us. I hope they don't get right against us, but this is lining up for us to really pound the Broncos. Now, I'm gonna do some videos going into the week. We'll see how things match up. But I'm feeling good against the Broncos next week. Feeling good against them, and at that point, Chargers are able to beat the Broncos at home. It'll push us to 4-2. And you looking ahead to next week. The Chiefs have the Bills next week, right? They have the Bills at home. The Bills put up 1,000,000 points, 1,000,000 yards today against the Steelers, right? Which is not a bad defense. So the Bills look to be gaining their footing as well, too. If the Bills are able to take down the Chiefs next week, then you got 4-2 teams, right, in week 6. And this is going to be the division, right? The Chargers and the Chiefs, right? So it'll put us probably at 4-2 apiece, right? Chargers 4-2, Chiefs 4-2. Looking ahead to after next week, right? Then this is where this race really starts, right? 6 games in, teams are starting to get their footing a little bit. So it'll be interesting going forward from there. But I think the Chargers are looking good going ahead. This was a big win that they had to have. They got it. They just barely got it. But hey, a win is a win, right? It's just going to show up as a W on the schedule. So I'm glad they were able to pull this out. But again, looking forward to next week. Looking forward to this Broncos game, and I'm looking forward to the Bills. Maybe pulling one out against the Chiefs next week. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But things are going to look good for the Chargers coming up here for the next few weeks. So really excited about where they're at, and hopefully they continue to build on these performances. Hopefully Brandon Staley can learn something every single week. All these mistakes that he's making as a head coach, he's just I don't know. I don't know. I don't have confidence in him, but I have confidence in the players. And I think this is a veteran-led team, so I think they can pull this together. They can get it together without really, too much as far as the head coach goes. They can pull it together. These guys know what to do. So my confidence is starting to rise again. So things are looking okay now. So I'm looking forward to these next few weeks. They're going to be very crucial towards the AFC West title, and hopefully the Chargers are able to continue to play good football. But yeah, let's see. One more. Even with less explosiveness, Odell has hands along with IQ and Super Bowl experience. We need him. Yeah, but Odell is probably going to come. Odell is going to come at a price, right? Odell is going to want a contract. He's going to want a 2-year. He's probably going to want a 2-year contract. I would say. I don't think we can have Odell on a 2-year contract. He's a guy maybe for the rest of the season if he was willing to do that, but I'm not sure he's willing to do that. He did that with the Rams last year. Obviously got hurt, so he's probably going to want some type of protection as far as the financials go. So his contract, he's probably going to want a 2-year contract, and he's probably going to want some good monies. But I don't think the Chargers can afford that going into next season. This year, probably yes, but going into next season when you have to pay Herbert, other guys are going to come up as well too. So I don't know. I don't know what the Chargers can do. I don't know if they can afford that. I think Tyron Johnson is a easy, quick, cheap, transaction that the Chargers can make right away, right? And he's a guy that has chemistry with Herbert, and he's a guy that's not going to come in wanting a lot of catches. He's going to know his role when he comes in, right? Odell is going to have to, he's going to have to hit his ego is still there, right? He's still Odell. He's still OBJ. So I don't know. I don't know how that fits really in the locker room, but I think Tyron Johnson is the easy, quick move to make. He's a speedster that the Chargers need right now. And with Mike Williams on the team, we got a bona fide number one, right? He's been the number one so far with Keenan Allen out. When Keenan Allen comes back, he's going to be the number two. Joshua Palmer has pretty much been the number three. So where does Odell fit in, right? Is he okay being the number four receiver? Is he okay not getting a lot of snaps? I don't know. A lot of those questions you can't really answer. Tyron Johnson is a guy though who he can come in right away. He can give you value, as a receiver and as a return man too, in case DeAndre Carter goes down or whatever. He can give you value in both areas, special teams and on offense. So, and he's going to be a lot cheaper than Odell Beckham too. So I think that makes more sense. Are we allergic to blowing any team out? We'll see against the Broncos. We'll see. Because if the Broncos come in with that Thursday night performance, if they bring any elements of that to SoFi Stadium next Monday night, it should be a blowout. Because ain't no way in hell they're going to come in with that anemic offense and think that they're going to hold the Chargers to 12 points like they held the Colts to, and the Colts have an anemic offense themselves too. Yeah, there's no way. Especially with the way the Chargers are running the ball. If they continue running the ball this way, we should win. We should blow them out. The NFL blowout would be 10, 13 points. I say that's okay. I think that's okay. Maybe more if Russell Wilson is continuing to suck pond water the way that he is. If he's continuing to play as shitty as he is, then yes, I would say a blowout should be on the menu. But because they are just they're not on the same page at all about anything. So yeah, man. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I hope that they're able to get a blowout here pretty soon. I would call it next week, to be honest. Let's see. OB is going to the Packers, understand it and accept it. Yeah, he probably is going to the Packers. They need him more than we need him right now, to be honest. So, and they're going to be able to give him some money too, because the Packers aren't paying nobody. The only people the Packers are paying are Rodgers, Bakhtiari, and the one dude on defense. What's his name? Preston Smith. Those are the only three guys that they're really paying. They got a lot of rookies everywhere else. So they can afford him probably in the next year too. And they're going to need him next year too, because their wide receiver core is so young, and they're just not as good as they should be yet. Aaron Rodgers is kind of a prick though, so it'd be hard learning under him, and trying to play with him. OBJ has respect. I think Aaron Rodgers respects him, so he could come in and make a difference right away. But we'll see. I don't think the Chargers sign OBJ because we can't afford him. He's gonna want a 2-year contract, and to be honest with you, he does deserve a 2-year contract because what he did last year with the Rams was impressive, right? They don't win the Super Bowl without him. They don't even get to the Super Bowl without him, especially with their who went down. Robert Woods went down last year, but he came in and he stepped up. He was big down the stretch for them. He was big in the playoffs for them. So they don't do anything. They don't win that Super Bowl without OBJ. So he showed himself to be a big-time player. And if you show yourself to be a big-time player, especially in the playoffs, you're going to get money, right? You're going to get some guaranteed money. And I think he deserves that even going into next year. So I don't think the Chargers can commit to that right now. Guys are going to get paid next year, and the Chargers are still yet to really figure that out, right? We don't know what the figure is going to be. So they have to hold that place until they're able to get there. Then maybe next year after guys get paid, but he'll be signed by then. So just forget about that. They don't need OBJ right now. Let's see. Russ has an uncomfortable injury too. Yeah, that right shoulder injury, but he's just not playing well either. So, I see a lot. There's a lot of people making excuses for him yesterday, talking about his injury. But when you look at some of the plays, he was looking guys off, right? He don't really know how to play quarterback all that well. And I think that's being exposed right now. And I think a lot of people don't like that because they like Russ as a person, but he's just not a great quarterback. When it comes to reading defenses and all that stuff, he's not there. He's not there. His, reading defenses and all of that stuff, it goes away kind of when you're able to run around, right? And you're able to make the defense move around and all that stuff. Then you don't really have to read it, right? You're running around, you're running out, you're just looking for one guy to get open, you throw the pass there, and then bam, it's a nice touchdown and all that stuff. But when a defense is playing very disciplined and they're not, moving around and all that stuff, and Russ is not moving around himself, he's not able to do what he did. Like, I don't think that he knows how to read defenses that well. This is correct. A lot of people are surprised by this. He's been in the league for 10 years. He don't know how to read defenses that well. He doesn't. He just doesn't. He doesn't know how to manipulate from the pocket that well. Very surprising, but it is when you look at the tape, and I have been watching a lot of the Denver Broncos tape all season long to see if Russell Wilson has been this bad and he's been missing open receivers. Yes, he has all season long, from the first game all the way up until Thursday night. He's been missing a lot. There's been a lot of guys open. Just in the Raider game last week, there was three plays that I watched that come to mind where he had at least, I would say at least a 20-yard game, right? And he didn't take it for whatever reason. Right now they're saying his shoulder is hurting. Okay, maybe that's an excuse for that game. But the Texan game was bad. He just is not reading defenses. To me, it looks like he doesn't know how to read defenses. Honestly, that's just honestly what it is with Russ, and that's what I can infer based off of all of the game tape that I've watched on NFL Plus from the Broncos. He's not good. He don't know how to read defenses, and it's surprising to a lot of people. But at this point in his career, he don't know how to read defenses. It's just a lot of running around and stuff. That's why he's going to age very terribly. I'm not sure if he can get it turned around. Can you learn how to read defenses in one season? From this season to next season? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think he's going to, a lot of people had him in the Hall of Fame. He's gonna, maybe he gets some votes. I think his stint in Denver, he's going to play himself out of the Hall of Fame. Personally, that's what I think. Because if you're year 10, right, and you don't know how to read defenses, if you are not an expert at reading defenses as a quarterback, you're not a Hall of Famer, right? You're not going to be a Hall of Famer. Because stats say one thing, right? But when it comes to situational football, we see what Russ just on Thursday night, right? That shows you, if you don't think that he knows how to read defenses, that play, the final play shows you that he doesn't really understand the game as much as he should, because the play that everybody that reposted the play, right? He is looking at Cortland Sutton and I think the tight end, right? They're both still in the end zone. They haven't even broken yet, right? They're still in the top of the routes. They have not broke. And he's looking at them, right? When you have the play design that they had with KJ Hamler was open, that play design was specific for a short yard situation. It was specific for it. So any quarterback come in and knowing you have that action right there on the right side, right? You have a guy running, and you have a guy, your inside guy is running directly out. Your outside guy is coming in. He's looping under, right? So he is going to be open. Even if they read it right, even if the coach read it right, right? He's still going to be open for a stretch, right? He's going to be open for a good maybe 2 seconds, right? Even if they cover it the right way. If you just make that throw, you're going to win. But the Colts didn't even cover it right? This guy was wide open. He was wide ass open running in. As a quarterback, you should know that action is designed for the play to go there, right? That action is designed for the play to go there. You're looking there first, right? If that thing is covered completely, if it's covered 100%, then you look somewhere else, and then you have to improvise. That action is designed for that. So, like, for him to not even look there shows that he doesn't really understand. And it doesn't matter where, he's not in Seattle anymore or whatever. It doesn't matter. If you get traded to a team on the moon, if you're a good quarterback, you understand that action is designed for that. So I don't know, man. A lot of people are saying that he's just a glory hog. He wants to do things the way that he wants to win, but he only wants to win his way, right? And I don't know. Maybe some of that's there. I just honestly think that he is not as adept at quarterback as everybody thinks that he is. He's not the brain that Tom Brady is. He's not the brain that Drew Brees is. He doesn't understand the quarterback position from the pocket like all of the greats do. And it's showing. It's obviously showing. So I think it's a little more of that than anything else. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We need the Raiders to win tomorrow. Yes, we do. Because if the Raiders pull an upset tomorrow, the Chiefs go to 3-2, right? 3-2 going into the game against the Bills, where they could easily be 3-3 after that. That would be interesting. I'm not counting on it though. Based off everything that I've seen from the Raiders, I'm not counting on it. But we'll see. We can hope. Um, when is Slayer back in action? I don't know. Maybe next week. I think he re-aggravated the hamstring in practice this week. So if it's anything like we've seen, it might be a couple of weeks before he's even back. It depends. It honestly depends on how well he heals, or if he re-aggravated it just a little bit, or if he re-aggravated it like back to square one. If he re-aggravated it again back to square one, then probably what, another 3 weeks, maybe. I don't know. We'll see, man. He could be out for a good portion of the first half of the season. So we'll see if he practices next week. If he tries to practice, if he's like limited, then I think he might go, especially with the extra day because they play on Monday. So you get 8 days now. You get 8 days until the next game. So if he tries to go on Wednesday, then I think he might play if everything goes well. But we'll see. We'll see if he's limited on Wednesday, maybe limited on Thursday. If he goes practices probably 2 days in a row, then maybe he's on track to play. That's if everything goes well. But we'll see. When you re-aggravate an injury, it's just you can never tell. You can never really tell truly. Let's see. Butt buzzer went off for Honey Does. Thanks for the content. No problem, man. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. See, I was fooled. The Broncos roster is overrated. Yeah, they are overrated. Their defense is good. They still have a lot of their players from last year, and the defensive coordinator is pretty good too. He's a first-time defensive coordinator. I think he came from the Rams too. He's a African guy. I can't pronounce his name. I can't even think of his name, to be honest. But he's been pretty good. Their defense has saved them. Their defense is the reason why they are not 1-4 like they should be. They should be 1-4, but yeah, they are overrated, especially on offense. And with Melvin Gordon, with all his fumbling problems and stuff, they are just not. They don't present a issue really for any team, right? There's not a lot of teams in the league who can't defend them. Like even the teams who don't have good defenses, they are not having much of an issue with the Broncos because they can move the ball if they want to. They are terrible in the red zone. They can't score in the red zone. They can't run the ball in the red zone, and they can't score in the red zone. They have nobody who can beat anybody one-on-one. This Cortland Sutton guy, I mean, he is an average wide receiver. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, this guy's really good." He's average to me. He's average. He's just average. He's not that great. He's been average since he's been there. The Tim Patrick guys, I think they lost him in the regular season with the ACL. I mean, he's not all that great either. But I mean, damn, like they just don't have really anybody. The tight end position is not good. They're not getting any really any production from the tight end position. And that's what a big thing too. That's Russ's comfort. That was a lot of his comfort in Seattle. He has some tight ends that he can throw the ball to, especially the way he likes to improvise and all that stuff when things are going bad and he just has to get rid of a ball. Tight end was always open. The tight ends, he doesn't have chemistry with him, and they're not all that great either. So I think that's another huge thing too. They're not getting nothing from the tight end position. Russ has always had at least one tight end that he can count on, but they really got nothing there. So they traded their tight end in the Russell Wilson trade. Noah Fant was pretty good, but they had to give him up to get Russell Wilson. So he's got to make something out of nothing. And at this point, he can't do it. He just shown that he can't do it. They're just not they're not a good team. And if Russell Wilson is not playing at a pro, not even a Pro Bowl, all pro level, they can't go anywhere. And their coaching is not great either. So thought I was watching a game from the 70s. Yeah, really, it was terrible. Matt Ryan is done too. Both these guys are done. They're washed. They're both washed. The running game should be a buffer until Keenan comes back in a crazy way. Injuries have made offense more diverse. Yeah, 100%. They have forced the Chargers to become more diverse. And I think it is a good thing. It's a blessing in disguise because you're going to have to carry a diverse offense into the playoffs, right? If you hope to make the playoffs, you got to be able to keep teams off balance, right? You got to be able to run the ball effectively, right? It doesn't have to be for as many yards as we ran today, but it has to be effective, right? The yards per carry got to be high, and you got to be able to run it in situations where, 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6, you got to be able to get 5 to 6 yards, right? Get the 3rd and 1s, the 3rd and 2s. You got to be able to do that in the playoffs. So if the Chargers are able to effectively do this the rest of the season, they're going to be in a really good position. especially come playoff time, right? The AFC West is up for grabs, right? The Chiefs, as good as they look, they're not going to lock in this AFC West yet. They still got some games to play. They still got a game against us. They're not going to have much trouble, I don't think, against the Raiders or the Broncos. But if they have any down weeks, just like they did against the Colts, then those games are going to count, especially towards the end. So they haven't locked it in yet, not just yet. I think the Chargers are going to have a lot to say before the season is over, but the Chargers are going to have to continue to play the way that they were playing today, especially offensively. They're able to run the ball, control the line of scrimmage. They're going to be fine. They are going to be fine. And hopefully the defense comes along as well, too. Hopefully they come along and hopefully they're able to make more plays, get back to what they were doing week 1, week 2. They're able to do that, especially turn teams over. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. They just got to continue. The pressure's got to be there. And if the Chargers are not going to blitz, they're going to have to get there with 4. And I think when Joey Bosa comes back, it's really going to change things for the Chargers defense too. Good goings. The Chargers will need to run the ball against the Bills in January. 100%. 100%. Because that's the Bills' Achilles heel. The Bills can't run the ball. So if the Bills are not able to run the ball, especially without Josh Allen, your quarterback cannot be 50% of your run game. I don't think that is feasible, especially in the playoffs. That's what lost them that game at Kansas City last year. They weren't able to run the ball. If they were able to run the ball and take time off the clock, they would have been in the AFC Championship game. But they weren't able to do that. So that's why they lost. And you just can't rely on your quarterback to do that. You have to have running backs. You have to be able to hand the ball off. If they're not able to do it, then they're going to struggle. They're going to struggle. And if the Chargers are able to do it and the Bills aren't able to do it, the matchup is going to be a lot closer than what a lot of people are going to think. So, yes, definitely have to continue running the ball. Definitely. Let's see. Yeah, man, I've been on here for an hour and a half now, so I'm about to lose my voice. But thank you guys so much for joining me. Really, really appreciate all your support. Appreciate all the super chats. Thank you guys so much. I'll be back on here this week. Hopefully, we're on baby watch. Me and the wife are on baby watch. Definitely this coming week. So she might be here pretty soon. If she comes, then you will know why I won't be on here. But I'm gonna try to make as many videos as I can this week until the baby comes. But if she doesn't come, if she holds up in there until next week like she's supposed to, then I will be on here all week long. So really appreciate you guys. Thank you for all the support. Apex Fowler, thank you for the support, man. Really, really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Yeah, you guys are great, man. You guys are awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign out here. Congratulations on your baby. Thank you. It's my second one. So second one, probably the last. So another daughter. God bless me with two beautiful kids. So might call it at that. So thank you guys for all the support. Really appreciate it. Lexus, thank you. Appreciate it. And I'll see you guys next time to our live stream. So appreciate it. And signing off here. So you guys have a good rest of the day. Enjoy the rest of the football action. And hopefully the Raiders are able to pull upset tomorrow. So, well, yeah, that's all I got. We'll see you guys later.